Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, innovating, and amazing Propagandacast with me, host and Pearl Dane, the one, the only master propaganda heroes like defender of the fatherland, off here to a 1v1 on Crossroads. To the north, it is Angreifen fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland for once. Here taking the role of the Panzer Division here with mobile defense featuring command tanks, counter-attack tactics, panzer tactician, mobile observation posts, and the 234-2 Puma heavy armored car in the south. It is Jlomka, fighting for America, freedom, democracy. Here with the 3rd Armored Division with airborne featuring Pathfinders, 50 cals, paratroopers, anti-tank guns, both 50 cal to take by airdrop, of course, and the P-47 rocket strafe. And as always, a big hearty thanks to my own company, who's my patron supporters. Without them and support, the Propagandacast would not be possible. So a big hearty thanks to all of those for the support for the worth it. Other people can follow those steps and support the worth it by pledging on Patreon, or they can donate by PayPal. Links are in the description. And if you're in the market for pre-ordering Companies 3, you can do so via the link in the comments. Use the code CoH2 in which case I get a 15% cut of the sales. That's a nice way to get both the game and support me. And I should comment, like, share, subscribe. So, Pathfinder started here for Jlomka, as Angreifen moves ahead here with the Pioneers, Gunners, and the MD-42. Mobile Defense, one of the more interesting commanders, used to be really popular and powerful back when you just call in the Pumas. Then they removed that and suddenly the commander dropped sharply. But there's been a slight resurgence in it as of late, I think, in part as people realised after they buffed the counter-attack tactics ability, it's pretty good. And it's not like the Puma magically became bad, it just wasn't like you just call in Pumas into command tank, which was kind of busted. But anyway, sandbags in the sun being attempted, but they're disrupted here. More Grenadiers there for Angreifen. We got a second rifle squad here for Jlomka in the far southeast here. Jlomka preparing the terrain here for any German advance here. Pioneers backing off from the center on the west side here. Grenadiers with MD-4 support ready to receive any amerikanischer Angriff. Back here, we'll have to see what happens next. Guessing a 3rd Grenadier squad then take care of Angreifen and the German army. But yeah, I think one thing that's causing more players to use it again is, simply put, counterattack tactics. It's actually really powerful for 35 munitions. Like, it just gives your unit a very strong ability to just capture points very fast, and it lasts an entire minute. And for 35 munitions, that can actually be, like, surprisingly powerful. But it's, you know, it's just not the kind of powerful that kills a lot of things directly. And typically, if something doesn't, like, you know, just immediately, you know, cause a lot of things to immediately die, these kinds of abilities tend to get overlooked a lot in the amateur, say, metagame perspective. There you go, nice flank by Jlomka on the far left flank, by the way. But again, you'll notice some players that are a bit sharper catching on to these abilities and still using them a bit here and there. So hopefully Angreifen will make a bit of use of it. But anyways, up north here, Rascal grabbing the fuel point here. I imagine we're looking at some tech here from Jlomka. Yes, indeed, it is the good old-fashioned lieutenant. 3rd Grenadier's got the Angreifen. Could take up now. Could go for the 4th Grenadier squad. Both are very much viable options here within his purview. In the east, the Echelons versus Pioneer. We got the M1 carbines there firing off a lot of fire against the advancing Pioneer. Hoping to suppress them, and does in fact successfully suppress them there with the carbine volley. No tech yet for Angreifen additional troops. Perhaps he's caught on the front line. Perhaps he's planning a sniper. Numerous options here that Angreifen could be pursuing. Meanwhile, we've got the lieutenant out here for Jlomka. I would not be surprised to see a mechanized platoon command post choice here. And then just relying on the commanders for machine guns and anti-tank guns. Pushed off the fuel point on the west, but still not before it hits Angreifen's fuel point, which ensures Jlomka now has a significant fuel lead over his opponent. 32 versus 16. One advantage or thing to keep in mind about Crossroads, it has more points than the average map, so map control of this map can actually mean a lot more than just good map control on other maps, and can actually spiral out of control very fast. Tech there for Angreifen, car being hit here. Jlomka there, in fact, he's like really good at like sticking to the side and go for the longer path, which most players tend not to be a big fan of either. I think mostly because they tend to be a bit lazy. Anyways, Green's casting off squad in the center, but thumbs up to Jlomka effecting up for these really deep flanks. That is actually like really solid and displays, I think, a very good sense of tactical imagination there, which again, some players tend not to be keen on there. I think Angreifen sort of started to catch on to it. Far east here, Pioneers come up in the fuel point there in the center. Grenadiers the rifle squad here, low health here. Rifle squad will have to retreat. We do have the ambulance out there for Jlomka. We do get the mechanized command post upgrade. I would not be surprised to look at the Steward, and up north here, what's that? a rifle grenade or a mine? I think that was a rifle grenade. We do get a panzer grenade here for Angreifen. Thumbs up. And there you go, counter-attack tactics. You can see there, boof, best point is just being grabbed in a matter of seconds. It's allowed to harass rapidly, and again, just get a lot of terrain very fast away from his opponent here. So again, in the right hands and used correctly, it can just like really swing around map control very fast. And certainly on a map like counter-attack tactics, Crossroads, damn it, Crossroads. On a map like Crossroads, counter-attack tactics certainly has the potential to be perhaps even more powerful again due to just the sheer number of extra points and such. So little need here. So while he is technically losing the western fuel point, he's easily like just counteracting this, but just rapidly gobbling up the eastern side of the map here from Jlomka in a matter of seconds. Panzer going to be moving forward with the Sturmgewehrs. Still a light down there for Jlomka. Guessing a pack 40 here for Angreifen. Sneaking up in the calf point here, which of course quickly decaptured. Probably for him like even the abilities running out here. Maybe not actually. Gonna be close though. Really close. Pathfinder's name you thought to be teaming up so Sister Swallow. We got Ralph Squad tank from Lieutenant tank from the south here. So some good maneuvering out there, say so far from both players here in the early game. Definitely more than just your typical meat grinder attacks you'll see some players just employ. And as the reactions here further south, Stuart Light tank almost there for Jlomka. North here, Punch was there, being slowly focused down. Probably should retreat them soon here, I think, actually. They're not making too much progress, and the M42 is not quite there to help them up either. Then he's up north here, successfully pushing back the rifle squad here. Punch goes down to just 2 men. And there goes Stuart Light tank strikes, so I'm guessing a pack 40 from Angreifen. Unless he's going to, like, try and hold out for a Puma, which, I mean, would certainly be a bold tactic and strategy. Just not entirely sure I'd advise that, but like I suppose he could try it. I mean, it's not a T-70, so, you know, but it's still pretty powerful against infantry as well. But again, I'm kind of expecting the pack here, but still, Angreifen could surprise us. Stood here, rushing straight to the Pioneers here. Ralph Grenade from the Gundies almost dropped out in return there. Manpower being floated. No Panzer up there. Kanone here for Angreifen and the Panzerlehr Panzer Division. Machine ground back the western fuel point. Eastern fuel grabbed here by the Amerikanen as he hits the carve point. And the machining gun on the west is routed as Jlomka's M5 wants to do a light tank strikes for democracy. As for Jlomka, not much else happening there for now. He's got plenty of munitions. I mean, weapon racks or grenades, it could be a pretty good upgrade to get there. Could also be planning something else, but so far, no indicator as to what Jlomka here is scheming versus Angreifen. As for Angreifen, do get the light mechanized companies. I'm guessing the Panzer Kanone 40 here. Honestly, more surprised if it hadn't been up sooner, but again, it could have been that Angreifen was just feeling very optimistic that maybe he could, like, you know, hold out for a Puma here. Maybe, like, honestly, I'm seeing a lot of players go for this command and then just skip the Pumas. Might just be wishful thinking from me. But anyways, pack 40 on the way there for Angreifen. Panzer going to be moving up there with a Sturmgewehr 44. Recently caught out in here by the Sturmgewehrs. South here, Gundies with the advancing Ralph squad here, backed up with the 5th cal. Pack 40 there, halfway done for Angreifen and the Panzerlehr Panzer Division. So, then, because it was, well, formed out of instructional and training cadres from across Germany, so that way, in a sense, form up an elite division on the fly. Also, just a lot of combat veterans. It was also very well equipped, and actually had the distinction of being one of the very few German panzer divisions to have all of its panzer grenadiers equipped with armoured half-tracks. Unfortunately, the commanding officer for the division was a bit of a putt and proceeded to lose most of them to an air raid shortly into the fighting in Normandy. So go figure, but very, very few German panzer divisions actually had a full suite of armoured half-tracks. I think the only one I can immediately think of was actually the 21st Panzer Division, and those were converted French armoured half-tracks. Like, typically most divisions like had a battalion of them, I believe. Maybe a few companies, but that was it. So they go straight for the Pioneers. Pack shoots, misses the Stuart. And some divisions, they've even got the full set of half-tracks at all. But anyways, Rifle Corps, Pencil Flank, the Eastern's got Pathfinders nearby. Yeah, the Pack 40 is definitely going to help keep the Stuart a bit in check still. Jlomka continues to exert excellent map control against Angreifen. The one thing Angreifen does still have quite going for him is the victory points lead here, which Jlomka, despite all the other sort of advantages, hasn't quite been able to get over Angreifen here. Storming up shoots. West side, the Panzers do end up being forced to fall back here, so just being surrounded. He could consider like another Panzer Grenadier squad, as he has lost the Grenadier squad. More infantry, I think, would benefit Angreifen a lot, and I do not say there's a lot, but more Panzer Grenadiers tends to be pretty good. Anyways, Ralph got their push back here by Angreifen. Lieutenant moving in here, the pressure is increasing on Angreifen and the Panzerlehr Panzerdivision, and we do get a second Panzer Grenadier squad. 2 thumbs up. Overall, again, very rare stuff here. Most players will just keep churning out Rat Grenadiers no matter what. But Angreifen here clearly knows that there's a bit more to the Panzer than most players, I think, accept. Anyways, there you go. Powerfans caught under the Panzer Grenadiers and the Sturmgewehrs. Do see Otto there drop dead, but the Powerfans ultimately push back here. And 2 Panzer Grenadier squads definitely gives Angreifen a bit more offensive prowess there. In particular, once they get some veterancy going, they can really slice through Jlomka. And we do actually get a Puma hit, the 234-2, and counterattack tactics again. I mean, thumbs up here. Another fun fact about the Puma, the Panzerlehr was actually one of the few Panzer Division teams to receive the Puma as well, as they weren't produced in large quantities, largely due to the fact they were sort of more the result of the Germans having a bunch of spare turrets from a cancelled reconnaissance tank project, the Leopard. And so they just went, well, we got this armoured car chassis that can fit on, and we use it like that. And, well, the German High Command didn't really bother looking into any further, because they're kind of concerned that the turret with a big gun in it for an armoured car, that is, would cause the armoured car crews to get a bit too overconfident. So they rather didn't pursue it any further. They did end up upgunning some of the heavy armoured cars, but without turrets on them, more like, shall I say, like assault guns. Fun fact there as well. But again, good use of counter-attack tactics here, allowing to quickly grab a lot of terrain, and suddenly Angreifen's the one here with most of the map here versus Jlomka. Thumbs up. Rare to see a Puma from the Wehrmacht nowadays, even when they do go for mobile defense. So the Puma is an excellent armoured car. Panzers have been caught by the Pathfinders. We also got BARs out there for Jlomka aplenty, of course, significantly boosting the firepower of his men. And of course, we've got a Bazooka Team Gebäudeladung there, pushing back the Pathfinders, working together with the Panzer Grenadier, also sehr good. Would love to see a half-check as well here for Angreifen, but that might be pushing my luck. As for Jlomka, we do actually have the Major out already, so he's not far away from just being able to put Shermans here, or Scots versus Angreifen. Jackson, though, could perhaps be looked into as well here to help deal with the Puma, unless he's just going to run anti-tank guns for putting that one to rest. This is definitely swung the game aggressively in favour of Angreifen here. 2 Panzer squads backed up by Puma and some other stuff here. Definitely gives Angreifen some serious offensive edge when then also combined with counter-attack tactics. Lovely. On the west side here, Lieutenant pushed back. The Panzer Grenadiers already pushed beyond the limits. Angreifen makes the very sensible decision to retreat them there rather than risk casualties. He is also taking up here. Could go for some medium armour. Could go for command tank perhaps as well. You could also, I suppose, try and stall for tier 4, as Angreifen is one of those players who really, really likes Panthers. MG42 following up here for Angreifen. The Maschinengewehr, the Panzergrenadier here reinforcing healing. Getting ready for the next push for Deutschland. Wrecking cover here tonight to the Amerikaner. Still rushing out there. West side here, we got the Ralph squad turning up here, and the MG42 there, of course, still waiting to be called in as he steadily takes up. Stuart here as the MG42. Pack Puma could go for it. Does seem like probably Jlomka has not kept the entertaining support of his Stuart, though he... bit more sneaky. He actually sets up on a different angle here in Axis, where Angreifen may not have anticipated. But in this case, he might have actually spotted, I don't know. There we go again, Panzer push and supported by the Puma. They get the combined arms bonus kicking in, making them much tougher here. Or not much tougher, but a bit tougher here. Better to also achieve, which definitely gives them a significant offensive punch. MG42 unless the tech is finally done. Stuart then not being hit by the Puma and the pack here. Could possibly take it out here. And now Jlomka is going for the Scots. Some artillery support here to blast through the German lines. MG42 almost done. First one though, probably needs to retreat here before it gets wiped out. Yeah, that's too late. That could have been avoided, I think, there for Angreifen. The Zucker team now unable to assist, and the Puma is kaput. Angreifen and Deutschland wants to swing into control here. And the cemetery there, we note the way he swing around the Panthers affect the retreat path of the lieutenant. Particular Panthers with the Sturmgewehr is also quite good for hunting down retreating units and maybe get a wipe, though of course in this case 2 grenadier squads of light machine guns certainly do not hurt either, and that's just a full wipe in Jlomka, completely annihilating his officer there and getting in some paratroopers. S-mount for the southern fuel pump, thumbs up. Another fun fact about Angreifen, it's actually one of the few Wehrmacht players who tend to be pretty specific about using S-mines fairly consistently. So, also a player to watch. There are times you like notice him playing there, so if he's playing as the Wehrmacht, because he typically tends to be like pretty good at doing that, and again consistently. Scott there, opening up the miss, but they got the Puma rushing in, but there you go, baiting is the anti-tank there. Angreifen is forced to disengage with the Puma. Tier 4 there for Angreifen. Ultimately, I am not surprised. Not even remotely. Sandbags in the east, definitely risky, even with the map control he currently has. But that said, I think the Puma supporting it with some Panthers is, I think, strategically fairly sensible to try and make it work. But even then, there's gonna be some risks involved. But at least it's not, I think, just trying to play it like you're all stalling out here to make it work, which is typically where things go fairly pear-shaped. South Pioneer moving about here. And again, fairly consistent use of counter-attack tactics. Pioneer here busy with the 234-2. Good shot from the pack forward there, right for the Scots frontal armour. Grenadier here routed. South here, Pioneer laying down S-mines, taking advantage of the calm here in the south to just mine it up. Rifle squad caught with M42, 5th cal there, number 2. Actually, I'm surprised it's not airdropping them in, actually. Well, still, more anti-tank guns will prove to be an issue there. I mean, machine guns, I mean, for Angreifen's infantry. Panzer Grenadier setting out again.
Machine gun team, ready for
437 versus 241. Again, victory points wise, Angreifen, despite everything, has maintained a pretty steady lead. In fact, has been able to expand it here versus Jlomka. Scott rushing up here. Panzer the pushing 40 looking to, I think, slice up. And there we go, could actually catch the parrot from the retreat here. Scott there might be able to sway the Panzer from doing it. Going to be a close call, though. Yeah, I think... Oh, 5th car there. Didn't even help there. Really good kill here for Angreifen again. Really proving the Panzer's ability there. Thumbs up. That's definitely painful there for Jlomka, losing a paratroop squad that had been upgraded to. Certainly proves him they need to watch his flanks more, because Angreifen is more than keen to exploit them with his Panzer Grenadiers. This one's also wiped out. That's a second wipe in Jlomka. Definitely starting to get very active. You could try and bombard around here. He sort of had a rough idea of how things are positioned due to the buildings. See, of course, if he isn't aware, obviously he's not going to be able to do it. Still, he's got, you know, a good chunk of the map now. And he can start training out some more armor here, which I think will be necessary. As for Angreifen, he's slowly towards that Panther here, the Panzerkampfwagen 5. Could be the Sturmpanzer, but knowing Angreifen's pathology here, it's very, very likely a Panther. German weather for Jlomka. I mean, some people just really like the Panther, and I don't blame them. It's a sexy tank. I just don't think it's very good in companies too. I wish it was, though. Still, some players can make it work. We'll see. German weather for Jlomka. 5th gather tank into the troops as they pull forward. See, getting killed there on poor Ludwig. Boomerang about here. 2 kills, veterans who won. Flanking around with some Pioneer. Ralph squad there halted by the S-mine field, proving their worth in this investment there. Sherman almost done here for Jlomka and the 3rd Armored Division here. As Angreifen the Panzer there reorganizes for the next push. Nice flanking. In fact, even trying to lay down some S-mines on the retreat path here. Thumbs up. Again, Angreifen definitely a player who goes a bit more, you know, beyond the usual moves then when it comes to S-mines. And again, I think it really is a player's like, you know, watch if you want to, like, you know, get some hints as to get the most out of US mines. Part of this just lay down a bunch. So moments away from the Panther, he has the fuel, he has the tech, he just needs the manpower. Ralph's got around by the Panzer Grenadiers, they advance here. Near Islam, these gentlemen, that's definitely a problem there for Jlomka's infantry. Big time. Grenadiers been caught by the Sherman here. High explosive shells being delivered around to them. So far, he's clearly not too concerned about anything too heavily armoured. As well, not even on Panther fight in the field, though. Obviously, it might not hurt to assume his opponent might be planning something bigger. Counterattack tactics. Again, smoke being deployed to deal with a pack. Thumbs up to Jlomka there. Shouldn't give out there dealing with things that might rush in the Sherman to deal with that. Panzer squad, they're routed, but still counterattack tactics, just allowing to grab points easily and smoothly. There we go. Friedrich there blown to bits by the Sherman. Scott the Bahn machine gun here. Might actually want to just deploy smoke, but I will. Heinz there, cut to ribbons. Panther is seconds away here from Angreifen. Decent hit there on the Puma. Nothing massive. Angreifen can go for the Panther here, but seems caught up in other matters. And so won't be calling. Oh, dear, now that's actually less good there for Angreifen. This is great for Jlomka. Definite tactical mishap here. Erkson is pack 40 in a man. He clearly didn't, I think, think through entirely here. Jlomka could actually now seize the pack 40 turn against Angreifen, or could at least destroy it. So far, none of these happens. In fact, Angreifen appears like he can actually get the pack 40 back. That's better. Unfortunate for Jlomka there. Go wipe again. He should definitely, I think, make the decision either destroy it or grab it, but need to be quick about it. Meanwhile, a second Paratroop squad is arrived here to assist Jlomka. Meanwhile, the Panther is halfway down there for Angreifen, and the Panzer down there go. The Panzer Grenadier achieves the ace level and a nice Iron Cross second class. Looks like just destroying the pack, which again is better than just, allowing it to fall back into his opponent's hands. Definitely denies Angreifen some anti-tank support here versus Jlomka. We'll definitely need more anti-tank guns, I think, soon. German bombarded by the Puma and its 50mm gun. Roughly equivalent to that of the Panzer III L/M models. Technically also the J1. Panther out there, adding the panel-mounted MG42 there on top. Dashing in here for Deutschland. Shoots, good shot there for the Sherman's side armor. Also crucially worth noting, no support foot. Grenadiers, the white machine gun dropped. Trying to disengage with the Sherman here, but the problem is he kind of manages to pump himself into corner here. Also apparently popped high explosive shells there, so that didn't really help his chances against the Panther at all. Didn't grab the machine gun there, guess he couldn't. Still got to wipe down Angreifen and the German army. He's also actually closing in the gap then. Vic 2 points a bit now. Good for Jlomka. That's good for Angreifen. There go. Getting to work, they're clearing out all of the S-mines that Angreifen been laying down in the east. And a counterattack tactics again. Thumbs up. Rushing ahead here with a Panther. Now they're entering an airdrop here to deal with the German Panzerwaffe. As Angreifen just charges ahead here for Reich. Scott firing away there. Second Panzer squad boats managed to reach Veteran 2. There we go, crewing the anti-tank with Pathfinders. Not bad. That on the hand is bad. That's a wipe on an ace Panzer Grenadier squad. That's quite expensive there for Angreifen. Definitely should replace them. The so far just seem to go for more Grenadiers. Then removing all of those assault units definitely removes, I think, a bit of a four-man Jlomka side. Of course, he's got plenty of other thorns he needs to deal with too. South here, Grayson's basic ground points back there for freedom and democracy. Anti-tankers then pursuit of the Panther as well here. Puma machine on the flank here, catching the rifle squad there. The GIs are definitely not in the greatest spot there. Scott close to 52. Very good there for Jlomka, and there you go, Panther dashing in and going for the Scott. Catching the anti-tank out of position. Nice read here on the situation by Angreifen. Tactically smoke deployed there. Charging after the Scott here. Almost got it. There we go. There are a lot of shots here. Panther's down to half health. The engine is damaged at his opponent's base here. More damage inflicted here. Puma also racing in there. Scott is going to go down, I think. Yup, Puma is going to pop it like a pimple. Ambulance knocked out there. Pioneer moving about here. Anti-tank fighters pursuing. Bring up the anti-tank, and he's trying to get up, but the odds are not get with him there against one anti-tank guns with a full clear view of the rear armor. In the side armor. There you go. Almost got it. He does turn around here, but one lucky shot pops through and pops the Panther there. Still a bit of damage to Jlomka. Still, I think came off worse than Jlomka did. He's now got less infantry. And Jlomka's got a fair amount of infantry still, but also crucially more support weapons. He's got 2 machine guns versus Angreifen's 1. He's got 2 anti-tank guns versus Angreifen's none. So, definitely looking much more fair now for Jlomka. The Angreifen, I think, operationally made a mistake at dashing in the Panther like that. Obviously get, wrecking the Scott and the ambulance and all that, but that's like not worth a Panther at all. Unless you're like bad at math, I guess. And he's versus Ralph Squad in the center. So we'll have to see what it goes for next, though, but it not be surprising another Panther there. They would also recommend more Panzergrenadiere. As for Jlomka, more tanks would of course be a really good investment, though I think some more paratroopers to add some more elite infantry elements here versus Angreifen would also be a very good investment. 320 versus 189. Paratrooping caught by the Grenadiers. Light machine guns versus light machine guns. And the east here, Angreifen's also busy there, unraveling there Jlomka's right flank. Left goes the Grenadier. And we got the Puma here to the rescue. The anti-tank guns are still elsewhere, but are being rushed to the front line here to deal with the German armoured car menace here from Angreifen. There's something sharp to the Pioneers. Gets a kill there. Second kill. Now this engagement is very much in favour of Jlomka's liaisons. There's just one guy with a MP40, and then someone with a minesweeper. Back at base here for Jlomka. Not much else happening for now. Cutby's planning up Jackson here versus the Puma. Actually, of course, he might even be anticipating more Panthers. We'll have to see what he's planning, but Angreifen can now go for a second Panther. Another Panzerkampfwagen 5. 317 versus 180 on the west side. We've got Pathfinder versus the Pioneer on the west here. With a bias on the marksman rifles, the Pioneers are definitely easy targets, though the MG42 makes this significantly less easy. And there you go, another Sherman there for Jlomka, Freedom and Democracy. Angreifen so far still not pressing that Panther button. There we go. Panther is now on the way for Angreifen here, and the Panzerlehr Panzer Division. First Panzergrenadier Company. Enforcing healing. Puma there being fixed up, slowly approaching the ace level. Oh, not the ace. Yeah, actually, since it's the Wehrmacht one, not the Oberkommers one. Panzerly pushing against Ralph Squad there, of routing them with some ease. Jlomka still has plenty of fuel for more armor. Definitely should consider that. Meanwhile, Angreifen's second Panther is halfway done. We shall, of course, see if that one lasts a bit longer than the first Panther. Finish the paratroopers here. Close to Vetchny 2. There we go. Getting Hosty out in the open. And the Grenadiers are also taking a bit of a beating. German ready. Up north here, machine their halts up here. Jlomka's push. That set more troops on the flank here. It's going to help to break through. Backed up with the 5th gun in particular. Ralph Grenade here. Push back the paratroopers in the east here. Pioneer routed. Something caused them to scatter off. There we go. Panther out here for Angreifen. Could go for another Panzergrenadier squad. He definitely has the manpower to consider doing so. And there we go. Another counter-attack tactics here been unleashed against Jlomka.
We're losing a capture point.
Go. Ground back the eastern fuel point rapidly. Shown us the Panther. And again, high explosive shells are loaded up. Penny was not expecting a Panther remotely. We also got the Puma in the front to deliver the Sherman. Definitely not promising odds here for the Sherman to survive this encounter with the German Panzerwaffe. or for that matter, the German reconnaissance units. And there goes Sherman just getting pelted from both sides, and ultimately does assault the Sherman cooking up there.
We just lost a medium tank.
Due to being focused down here by both Puma and Panther themselves sides, but there you go, damage entering the Panther here, as Angreifen daredevil Panther tactics there once more overextends the Panther and leaves it in a pretty tricky spot here. Can Jlomka finish off this Panther? Because that would be pretty devastating for Angreifen, as Jlomka can more easily replace his tanks, whereas Angreifen obviously takes a bit longer to replace a lost Panther. They don't exactly grow on trees, you know.
The capture point is under attack.
Bravo Squad going for the Pioneer, see MG42 flying away there, ripping through the Pioneer with ease. Damage sending the Puma as well. Trying to catch up with the Panther here, close but not quite. Panther was there pinned down. 5th guy on the south here, holding off, and there you go, more troops moving in here. Lone healthy, Grenadiers could maybe get a first burst in here, killing the gunners, and then killing the second one as well. There we go, wiping Jlomka's 5th cal there, leaving his southern flank. He also now wide open to a flank up here northwards from Angreifen. Meanwhile, the M10 keeps pursuing the Panther here. Looking pretty rough here for Angreifen. See if Jlomka were to pop armor-piercing rounds and take aim, but interesting enough, he is not. And shots are now missing. Ooh, missed opportunity, I think, there, but Jlomka. Also, this smoke pop here obviously does not make things easier. It's a close call there for Angreifen's Panther. Jlomka there, I think, might have slightly underestimated the situation there. Second Sherman on the way there. Or who knows what number Sherman that is, really. And in the south, the paratroops advance for freedom, democracy. Angreifen just flooding manpower and fuel here. I would still recommend more infantry. And there we go, another counterattack tactics. Thumbs up. So far, we've seen 3 abilities used. No command tanks, though, and nothing at a mobile observation post either. Almost got the entering of crews here with the Grenadiers. There you go, hosed. There you go, 5th cal to the rescue here, saving the other one. Panzer there continuing the raid forwards, though. Looks like they've got someone back at base.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
There you go, caught with the Sherman. Just immediately attack explosive shells here.
Just got cut off.
Panther is almost good to go to rush forwards here. Angreifen now just floating a bunch of manpower there. At this point, Jlomka, though, may want to consider bringing in a Jackson tank destroyer. And there you go, Panther gets a good shot there on the Sherman. Easily punching through its frontal armor there. South here, Puma moving up, veteran 3 ace level. No one's still bothered with that 50 cal. Plenty of manpower being flooded here. I feel like Angreifen's forgot about his resources, which is a little not optimal. Sherman's the Panther up north. Still firing high explosives. Do get some air support called in, but without line of sight, and more crucially, a way to keep the Panther there. It's not going to matter too much, so mostly gets a few rockets in there on the Panther, if at all. That appears to be a not at all. So that ends up being a really wasted P-47 rocket strafe here from Jlomka against Angreifen. He's also now going for more Panther Grenadiers and a Panzerwerfer. Yeah, that definitely is just like 225 munitions straight down the kitchen sink there. Ooh, and a Pathfinder squad wiped here. Does appear like Jlomka is starting to suffer more from the pressure here from Angreifen. Starting to feel the frustration of 1,000 guns wearing down his nerves, it would appear. Second Panzer squad out here for Angreifen. They're good. Puts him back to full squads, which actually means now it's got one from the field than Jlomka. The Panzer, of course, will prime with crucial rocket artillery, though I'd honestly just recommend a bunch of mortars. Bit more utility than the Panzerwerfer I find, due to the smoke. So on the point that being seized with the Pioneer, we got 227 on 61. Much closer now in terms of victory points, but still with the lead hitter Angreifen or Jlomka. Seizing up the centre here for Deutschland. 5th guy there's no one's bothering with. Maybe we should grab that machine gewehr. It's American. You might catch something. Like what? I don't know, syphilis or obesity. When we shoot some misses. Panzer they're pushing forwards. Machine they're pinned down there. Go Panzer barrage off here from Angreifen. A few hits there in the south. We got the Pioneer and the Panther going for the Ralph squad there. A few kills to land it. Panther veterans who won. Jlomka there. Definitely stand the field pressures. Angreifen launch another assault here. Panzer squad almost wiped out, but the Ace one still going at it. 15 kills for Zreich here. Sherman with 4 kills. Closely approaching veterans 1. More kills here. Some more Pans going to be completely obliterated here by the high close shells. But the Panther on the flank here. Going from an angle here. Jlomka clearly is not seeing here at all until it's too late. Panther arrives. Shoots and misses. The anti-tanks are turning up there. Both hit, both penetrate. Jackson all the way there for Jlomka, freedom and democracy. North here, we got the Puma racing in there. Shoots, but right in front of the anti-tanks, they could risk getting knocked out here, but he does pop smoke. Good reflex there from Angreifen. Grenadier pushing forward here. Panther moving in again. He is fearless here. And now the Puma races in well. He really wants that Sherman dead. He wants to deny Jlomka the ability to build up any kind of armored force here. Anti-tank crew, they're also suffering the wrath of the Reich here. Wrecking the anti-tank deny it to Jlomka. Very sensible play here by Angreifen if possible, if achievable, but Jlomka's definitely putting in a spirited fight. There we go though. Wreck the anti-tank gun. Denying Jlomka precious anti-tank weaponry here as Angreifen keeps unleashing the armored fist of the Third Reich here upon Jlomka and the Third Armored. Eastern Pommern sees over the Pioneer. Panther and Puma, they need repairs. And we got a second Panzerwehr here for Angreifen. I mean, that's always going to be more rocket artillery, though I'm not entirely sure that's going to happen too much. Jackson moving forward here. Alternatively, the Jackson could be a liability if Jlomka pulls off something smart there. And again, doesn't have to be. Does not have to be. Panther need repairs, Puma need repairs. Priority in this case, the Puma I think is a smarter choice, as the Puma the more quickly join the fight in, as it is lower health. And he ends up cancelling the Panther for a second Puma. Now that's really a rare sight there to see a player go for a second Puma like this. But at the same time, it kind of makes sense, as the Puma's, I think, a good complement for like any German tank. In this case, particularly with the Jackson, it gives more speedy, mobile firepower to, say, active spotters for the Panther. But also, like, help, draw away attention from the Panther. They've just given a lot of firepower on the move here that could give Jlomka's Jackson and Sherman a bit of a hard time. And he's still just firing high explosives here. Good shot from the Jackson and the Puma there. Second Puma arriving here for Angreifen and the Panzerlehr Panzer. We got rocket strike down here. Paratroopers suffering loss there as Lewis finds his face caved in there. Jackson get a good shot there on the Panther straight for the frontal arm. Another P-47 rocket strafe here. The power of the US Air Force unleashed, but there you go. The German Panzerwaffe though is not without teeth either. And the Jackson's almost down in the Puma races after, and there you go. Got the Jackson. Sherman also stuck out in the open here with a damaged engine and no way to bail it out here. The Pumas keep... Oh, they're actually racing backwards now. And he's retreating here. Lone anti-tank being hauled forwards, looking pretty rough here for Jlomka versus Angreifen now. Losses are piling up, and he's just not, shall I say, gaining the same amount of damage in there on Angreifen in the process. Whatever tactics he sort of had going for him in the early game has seemingly fallen a bit apart here under the much more steady performance of Angreifen. That said, the P-47s almost did some serious damage to Angreifen, but fortunately for Angreifen, that did not come to be. Down at 10 points here for Jlomka versus Angreifen's 227. Panther being fixed up here. Puma's running a bit about as well there. He's in the center, could grab the 50 cal. Panther is T2, adding into Schutzen. Ground the eastern point there with the rifle squad, trying to slow down the bleeding. He's down just 9 points here. Definitely going to be a close one there for Jlomka. Puma's being fixed up. Panther sitting out there again for Deutschland, backing up the Grenadiers here. And again, counterattack tactics. Thumbs up. Paratroopers Backed up with the 5th gun launching assault here to keep it out of the German hands, but that is already a bit too late now. Mind the Panther there should be able to repulse the assault that may take some time. Jackson arriving, shoots, good shot there for the Panzerfront armor. Anti-tank there bounces off the side armor. Puma's quickly going alongside the Panzerwerfer here. Panther with the damage engine being hauled out of there, pushing for the side. Could even try and rush the center there with the MU-42 using counter-attack tactics, which is exactly what Angreifen does. Panzerwerfer barrage being unleashed against Jlomka, Freedom and Democracy. In fact, on the point here, just came off it to get more time to grab the other points. There you go. Panzerguns by the eastern point here. Devious maneuver here by Angreifen, again exploiting the power of counter-attack tactics. He just quickly conduct a mass raid on the victory points here, and then rapidly bleed out Jlomka before he has a chance to stabilize. Which again, the increased capture speed here makes a lot more achievable here for Angreifen. Puma's ahead here. We got 3 points left. 2 points left. Puma's going for it here. 1 down. That's the ace Puma. There you go, GG, game over. A loss for Jlomka, a victory for Deutschland. A fierce fight here with some very nice usage of mobile defense, certainly a good highlight of its ability, also a good highlight of the Panzergun as a field, and certainly a good usage of the Puma here in the Wehrmacht service, which you do rarely see nowadays. So I hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, give it, consider liking, sharing, subscribing, all that. Share the video. Consider donating on Patreon. Like what I do, which keeps it going. This is Imperial LinkedIn. Cheers, and see you all tomorrow for another episode. Bye.